Hey guys, so we are going to work through the Ferris Wheels activity. This is an exploratory activity to get you um, understanding trigonometry. So we're tracking the height of a passenger car, and you're going to use your packet, another sheet of paper, and that I print out for you, and some lined pieces of paper to write your thoughts. So let's watch this video.
Behold, the Ferris wheel. But where did it come from? Meet George Ferris, born in Illinois in 1859. George started out as an engineer and graduated from the Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute in Troy, New York. Originally, he specialized in building steel frames for tunnels and bridges. However, when the World's Columbian Exhibition of 1893 rolled around, Ferris aimed big. He wanted to build something that could rival the Eiffel Tower, which was built for the Paris exhibition of 1889. His answer? The Ferris wheel. Originally, George called his invention the observation wheel. The wheel resembled the wheels you'd see on a bicycle. It had spokes radiating from the axle to reinforce the shape and stability of the wheel. Although people had previously designed smaller, similar contraptions out of wood, George's design was different in several important ways. First, it was huge. The supporting towers were almost 150 feet high, and the wheel itself was 264 feet high. Second, it used much more steel. At the time, the axle was the largest piece of steel ever made in the United States. It weighed 46 and a half tons. Between 40 to 60 people could ride in each of the wheel's 3 dozen gondolas, as its twin 1,000-pound steam engines pushed the massive ride through several revolutions. Over the course of the exhibition, over 1 million people rode on the Ferris wheel. And as imitators sprung up across the states, this iconic ride became a vital part of amusement parks across the world.
All right, cool. So that was some history on the Ferris wheel. So now you're going to sketch your graph, and this is going to be on your paper that has the graph and the table on it. On a separate sheet of paper, though, before you start, explain your thinking on the following questions. What quantities in this situation are changing as the Ferris wheel rotates? So what is changing while the Ferris wheel is rotating? How does the height of a single passenger car change as the car rotates around the Ferris wheel? What quantities should be included in the sketch? Which one should be the dependent variable, the height or amount of rotation? Why does it make sense for the height to be the dependent variable? Actually, number 5 answers number 4, so just do number 5. Okay, so here are your table and axes. Use the table and the axes to create your sketch, marking your graph along the X and Y axes with each number of rotations and the height number you are using to represent where the car is in the air. All right, so just make sure that your x-axis is labeled and your y-axis is labeled, height of the passenger car. It gives you different heights, so sometimes you need to change your height, but this is where you would label the height of your passenger car. In your packet, you're going to complete exercise A in 2 places, 1 on your sheet of paper with your table and your graph, and 2 in the packet explaining your assumptions as it asks you to do. And then you're going to complete question B in your packet. Again, on a separate sheet of paper, explain your thinking on these questions after you have drawn your graph. How did you decide where to locate your points on this graph? What could you do to make your model more precise? Sorry, typo. Is a passenger car ever at the same height during this rotation? How do you know? Where do you choose to start your car and why? Did you think Do you think the height is changing in a linear fashion? Why or why not? What patterns did you notice in the way the height of the car was changing? How does the range of the graph of the Ferris wheel height function relate to the physical feature of the wheel? All right, after you answer those questions, you're going to complete exercise 1 through 5. And when the questions refer to positions on the Ferris wheel as it relates to time on a clock, you may refer to this image. So this is the clock, doesn't have a circle around it, but it does resemble a Ferris wheel as a big circle. So when it talks about a car being at the 3 o'clock location, then this is where it's located, and you will start your graph based on this location and this height, the height of the 3 on the Ferris wheel. Lastly, you'll consider the final thoughts after you finish your activity. And next, you can skip the next challenge, where it talks about the paper plate, and go straight to the problem set. All right, if you have any questions, come ask me. Um, Make sure you're being respectful and not interrupting the class. And I will also come out and check on you guys.